Everybody, welcome back to the channel, guys. Match reaction. Gutted, really. Rangers, of course, lose 3-1 after extra time in the Scottish League Cup semi-final. Obviously, we will not be going to Hampden to take on St Mirren. Of course, Celtic will be headed there. And Iffy won, obviously, after a cup semi-final, after playing Old Firm games recently, when they actually matter, let's be perfectly honest, when they actually matter, I always feel I come away being super frustrated with this Rangers team. However, today I feel a little bit different. There's a lot of things to really take into account and look at in terms of context and whatnot. Of course, us playing with 10 men for majority of the game going into extra time, and then of course Celtic playing with 12 men. But look, listen, the first half Celtic dominated. I thought they were the team that were on top. They were doing deservedly, I would say, deserved to go in front. But the second half was a change of story. Bearing in mind, we did go down to 10 men as well. A red card. I mean, I don't have any complaints with a red card. Straight red, yeah, fair play. He had to go off for that challenge. However, into the second half, this is what I like about Danny Rule, is that he literally changed everything. He changed players, changed the formation, and we looked like the team in the ascendancy. Even with 10 men, Celtic couldn't kill it off, and we get our goal back. And I managed to get it to extra time. And in fact, there was chances for us to even go on and win the game within the 90. I also look back at certain chances as well from our £10 million striker, Shamiti. There was a lot of things that didn't really go our way, but I'm not coming away from this one. Obviously, I'm gutted because we're not getting to a cup final. We've lost to Celtic as well. But it's not a sort of rant video that I've felt like in times gone by, where I've just been completely frustrated with the players and asking for the manager to go. I think there's a lot of positives we can take from it, but as a Rangers fan, taking positives away from games is the story of my YouTube career here on RFC News. Let's be perfectly honest. I'm always trying to pick out the positives. Ultimately, we didn't win another Old Firm game that mattered, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, it's a hard one to look at. I'm super frustrated, I really am, but I've always got to look at it with context. And we had 10 men. Having 10 men makes things extremely difficult for us as a team. And yeah, I think there's positives we can take away from the second half, but ultimately, extra time, going into that last sort of half an hour, it was just too much for Rangers to even win. I never really thought we were going to win, to be perfectly honest with you. Even when we went down to 10 men, I just felt getting to extra time was beyond my expectation from this Rangers team. But of course, I'm pretty pissed off. I mean, there were some dodgy decisions throughout the game as well. You're looking at, of course, with Celtic. Potentially, there could have been something there as well. People coming in and talking about the penalty, I do think it was a penalty. An accidental handball is still a penalty. There was a debate on whether there should have been a second yellow card for Ralston, but it's not really the case that you can give him a second yellow card if it's accidental. If it's intentional, yes. I mean, that's the laws of the game. That just because you get given a penalty, it doesn't necessarily mean it's always going to be a yellow card or a booking. But yeah, man, I don't know how I feel with this one. It's frustrating because this Celtic team aren't good at all. We haven't seen them really that good at all. And I'm just thinking, in another world, obviously in hindsight, if we'd played 11 versus 11, I think we would have. I think it probably could have changed the fortunes, especially with Danny Rowe's tactical influence, him changing, not afraid to changing. I'm not scared to admit or afraid to admit that Celtic were on top for that first half, massively so, and he had to change it, and he did, fortunately. But I would have liked to have seen that with 11 versus 11. I think it would have been a certainly different outcome. But look, at the end of the day, we're not in the business of, if this happened, if that happened. Ultimately, we didn't get to the cup final, and I'm gutted. And again, people are going to be saying this sorts of stuff in the live chat, serial losers. And yeah, I mean, that's a tag that we've got to lose. Because ultimately, I try and find myself always coming into these games and trying to pick out positives from matches in the games that we win. Look, the games that we lose. Ultimately, we've been winning old firm games when they don't really matter. I.e., at the end of the season, or when Celtic are freaking 20 points clear, we always seem to win those ones. But when it's an opportunity to get to a cup final, or whether it's a cup final, or it's at the start of the campaign when things are even, we never really get over the line and win. Unfortunately, this club was built on that philosophy and built on winning trophies and winning matches. And we're not doing that. But look, it's not a time where I'm going to be melting down about it. I did see a lot of positives. I really like Danny Rowe. I like what he's all about. I think we've got a proper coach here. The team look coached, which I haven't been able to say in a very, very long time. And I like that he's pragmatic. I like that he's able to just change things around and just swap things about. Even at 10 men, we still look like the superior team in that second half, ultimately. So there's positives, but ultimately, us taking positives away doesn't take away the pain of losing a cup semi-final to your biggest rivals. But we'll have to see what happens in due course. Cheating refs again, who would have thought? St Mirren will beat that Mankey mob in the final. Patman says his arm was glued to his side, for God's sake. Yeah, but it's still, it's a penalty. I mean, it ultimately might be harsh. I mean, to be fair, who is it? Is it Michael Stewart on the comms? Did he play for Celtic? I know the answer to that. He didn't. But Jesus me, his commentary, anything that Celtic did, he was complaining for every single thing that happened that didn't go Celtic's way. I thought he had played for Celtic due to his comms. Rory Stewart as well, where he was going humming and hawing as someone was taking on the Celtic missing chances and stuff like that. Pretty biased commentary team as well. But yeah, the referee, I think the decision... Look, ultimately, with the one with Ralston, from a level head, if you want to take it away, look, Celtic have won the game. Look, I'm not happy about it. Ultimately, it's one of those decisions that if it's against you, then you would be unhappy. If it's for you, then you let it happen. I mean, in the rules of the game, VAR did check it. Not to say that VAR get absolutely everything right. It did hit his arm. Whether it be accidental or not, it is still a penalty. You can say, well, he can't move it, but if it's accidental, he can't move it. He's still stopped the ball from it was heading towards goal, and he still stopped it with his arm. So regardless if it being accidental or not, I do believe it was a penalty. A sore one to take if you're on the other side of that. I get it from the Celtic perspective. I do get it. I really do get it. I mean, if that was given to us as from a Rangers side, I wouldn't be happy. But ultimately, there's always going to be. We'll be sat here on another game sometime, and Celtic fans will be, the same decision could happen, but different colours, and then they will be saying, "Oh, it was a penalty," and we will be saying it isn't a penalty. It's one of those decisions. All football fans are always going to argue it, and they're always going to favour it depending on what side it goes to, and that's the way I would feel with it. But for me, it is a penalty, albeit harsh, but he's still blocked the ball from it was heading towards goal. He blocked it with his arms. Accidental, not. It's a penalty. It was. I seen a lot of debate. People saying, "Oh, it should have been," because Ralston was on a yellow, by the way. People were saying, "Oh, well, it should have been a second yellow card." It doesn't actually work like that in terms of the rules of the game and the law of the game. It doesn't actually suggest that. So the referee actually did get it right. I'm seeing some Rangers fans saying, "Oh, it should have been a second yellow." Not all the time. It doesn't always work like that. Ultimately, yeah. So, yeah. James Lindy says, I'm a Rangers fan. That was never a pen. Don't ever say the game's gone if you give that blue tinted glasses off. Nice. Oh, shit. Oh, someone here. Sorry, someone's at the door. I literally ordered like 4 minutes ago and someone's already here. 2 seconds. Do you think Aurasgard was a red card? Yeah, I do. I do think it was a red card. I didn't have any complaints about that necessarily. Yeah. No, I do think I think I'm not complaining with Arsgaard sending off. Not happy about it. It changed the outcome of the game, but I mean, we need to go again. I think, guys, we actually have got a good coach. Ultimately, look, you want to be getting to cup finals. Is what this club is all about. Is getting to cup finals. 2 seconds. Somebody's just here for something. Jesus. Yeah, sorry, I was just ordering something. Ultimately, yeah, you want to get to a cup final. To be fair, I was surprised from this Rangers side to conclude on it. I was surprised by this Rangers team because I've seen them fold in the past and I've seen them fold when it goes against them. But there was some positive signs to take away from it. I know it's not going to soften the blow, but ultimately I'm still raging. But when that red card happened to Arsgaard, I didn't see us getting to extra time. If you told me we were going to get to extra time, I wouldn't have seen it happening, especially from being a goal down. I thought that was game over, and in sort of yesteryears and in recent Old Firm games, that definitely would have been the case. But I like this head coach. I like what he's all about. I like Danny Rowe. I do think we're gonna be on to something with him. But yeah, let's see what happens as time goes on. 10 men played better than I expected. Unlucky with some decisions, so I'm not really upset too much. Celtic and Nick Walsh are corrupt. Nick should never referee again. How it even went to extra time is embarrassing for the unwashed. Well, I think it was a game of two halves. Celtic certainly the better side in the first half. I mean, then again, Shamiti, you're paying 10 million quid for a striker, and people were saying, well, he's going to come good, he's going to do this. But missing that sitter, that's what we paid the money for, to put those opportunities away in the big moments, Even Dessers would have stuck that in the back of the net. So, having said that, sometimes we are our own worst enemy, whether that be discipline. I mean, discipline's been a big factor this season. We've had a lot of red cards this year, so it's not just this one-off game. Ultimately, look, the slate is clean with Danny Rowe, but it's still the same old tale that's there. Missing opportunities, easy opportunities in big moments in the game, and then of course discipline. And it's, again, those two factors have cost us. So, yeah, pissed. What about Trusty when standing on Butland's face? Outraged that it was not a red. Yeah, I seen that. That was weird because he had the ball in his hands, didn't he? And then he just stood on him afterwards. Ultimately, that's sort of a VAR F-up because that would have been maybe looked back upon. But yeah, no, you're right. I remember that bit, actually. Yeah, he literally, he had the ball in his hands. He had the ball in his own control, and then he just goes and stands on him. Like, afterwards, it was like a good few seconds whilst the ball was in his hands, and he jumped on it. It was a good point, that. Good point. But yeah. James Lindy says, Mr. Roll needs a window for sure. I like the guy. Yeah, I like what he's about. Ultimately, I think he was unlucky today. I know he didn't tell Arsgaard to freaking get sent off, did he? And he didn't, and he still, even in that moment, his impact as a coach is to then still try and get us over the line. And he did. He changed things. How long have we been waiting and crying out for managers to change things when we're losing or not playing well? And he changed things. Even with 10 men, we looked like the better team in that second half. And that's the only positives I'll take, guys, because I'm not going to lower the standards of Rangers Football Club and saying, well, this, that, and the other. Benefit of the doubt, it's the first Old Firm game. I'm gutted, obviously, want to get to a cup final. But let's see what happens. This is Danny's fourth game in charge. All eyes now on Roma. Roma's turning into a must-win. And yeah, let's see what happens. But yeah, to conclude, guys, gutted. Not getting to a cup final, obviously. But there is some positives, whilst there is some negatives as well, but there is some positives to take away from the game, and I hate to be that guy, but there is. Fair play to Danny Rowe. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Hit like, hit subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on the game down in the comments section.